Little dusty, but a perfect hole. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Gunpowder and Freedom. So, two videos going on at the same time here. I just got the garage cleaned up, waiting for my dad to come down to give me a hand with the garage door installation. So I figured while I was waiting, I would start on all of these outlets. Whose idea was it to put this many outlets in a garage? Just kidding, it was mine. I take full responsibility. I do have them set up so that it is just gonna be one connection. Now, if you guys remember, all of these outlets on this wall, the garage door opener outlet, and this GFI, that is all on one strand. One run, I should say. I only have power coming in to this outlet here. I don't have the connector hooked up to transfer power from this outlet up over to here. So all of this wiring over here is dead. So I'm going to go ahead and just start stringing all my outlets together. And if you're not aware, I'll show you how that's done. Okay, so I'm going to be installing all these outlets with the ground side up. That way, if you install your outlets like this, no big deal. That's how 99% of people do it. But let's say you have something plugged in, right? And maybe it's a little bit older of an outlet, maybe the plug's a little bit worn and that plug wiggles out a little bit. Now you have the risk of something falling, catching that those two prongs on your outlet, sparking, starting a fire, whatever. So by turning them upside down, we're putting the ground on top. So if anything does fall and hit that, no big deal. It's a lot safer that way. So it's not that one way is right and one way is wrong. This is just my preferred way. So, pretty simple here. Take your pliers. You have your hot wire, which is your black. You have your neutral wire, which is your white. And you have your ground wire, which is copper. Your ground goes to green, your white goes to silver, and your black goes to gold. So, just bend a nice little, let's get a little bit more wire on there. Bend yourself a nice little arc. Hook it on like that. I'm gonna make that look a little bit nicer, but you do that on both sides, and there you go. Okay, so all of the outlets on this circuit here are hooked up, everything's connected. Now if you're wondering about like the drywall, mudding and stuff like that, yeah, some of this is going to need touched up. Like this gap here, this gap here, obviously that gap you guys saw in the other video on this outlet, that'll all get patched in. And then after everything's all finished, we'll just take a piece of like 2 to 2.5 inch tape, just cover that up, and I can spray everything, and I don't have to worry about painting over all the outlets or getting paint inside the box. The last thing I need to do for this run here is kill the breaker for this outlet, pull this one out, and then just hook my connector wire up to it, and then I can go ahead and test all of them. Now the way I'm going to test them is I have this extension cord that has a light on the end. You guys can see it's plugged into the heater, but there's a light, so I'll just carry both ends with me, plug the male end into the wall, and watch the female end for that light. No sparks and a light, that's a good sign. All right, they all work. So, man, that's nice. That's just nice when everything just works. So now I can go ahead and start hooking up my light switches. I won't turn those breakers on yet until I have all of my lights in and hooked up. And then I will finish the other outlets as soon as I can drywall that wall. And yeah, because I don't really want to try to work around outlets that are hot while I'm doing drywall. That just kind of seems irresponsible. So, all right, we're in good shape. So now that all of my light switches are hooked up, since some of these go to lights that aren't going to be hooked up for a little bit, like our sconce lights, our camera lights, the peak light, the 2 sconce lights and camera light out there, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to put a piece of tape over every single light switch. That way, as I finish them, I'll be able to pull that tape off. People will see that tape if they come out here unsuspectingly and say, hey, I need to flip a light switch on. They're gonna see that tape and go, okay, there's probably a reason this is taped off. Don't use that one. So yeah, I'm gonna tape all the light switches, and then as I hook these lights up, we'll pull that tape off. Once I get that done, I'm gonna go ahead, get my laser set up, and start drilling some holes for some lights. Okay, so now that we're ready to set the laser up and get some marks on the ceiling to drill the holes for the lights, I'm going to double check my notes, and on the road side I have my wire 3 feet from this wall, and on the house side looks like it's 3 foot 5 inches from the wall. So I want these lights to look symmetrical, and I'm gonna do these all at once. That way my work area lights line up nice and straight with these ones, so when you're outside looking in, everything looks nice. Okay, so with the help of our trusty laser and my portable battery pack, I was able to get all my lights laid out. Now, this row of lights is going to be in 3 foot 6 from each wall. I have them spaced out to where I want it. And then this row is 3 foot from the peak following the vertical. So they're not quite in line, but it's going to be all right. Because by the time you're in the garage and you can see those lights, I really don't even think you'll be able to tell. Plus, I didn't want these ones too high up on the wall, just kind of shining. Yeah, so that's where I wanted them. We had to kind of adjust these ones to make them more symmetrical on that wall. So now it's time to break open my 6-inch hole saw from Milwaukee. I will be putting that on my DeWalt drill, so don't you worry, Anthony. I didn't find one of these made by DeWalt, otherwise I would have bought it. You have this center piece that goes into the center of that. You have a drill bit for your pilot hole, so that stays nice and straight. We're gonna get it set up, and I got a new tripod I'm gonna try out. So let's see if we can get you guys a good view. Little dusty, but a perfect hole. Alright, there it is. My 3-way switch works. Woo! That is a good feeling. Now, I did go in and test it out. You guys saw that on the time lapse. And another thing you saw me doing was checking these settings. And I'm glad I did, because originally I was thinking I'm gonna put these at the highest setting, which is, what is that, 6,000 lumens. However, I'm not really a fan of the way that is. It almost looks like kind of bluish. So we're gonna go 5,000. I think that'll be a good light. Once we get 8 of those up, yeah, that'll be real good. So we're gonna go ahead, take these wire nuts back up. Well, kill the breaker first, hook up the wire that connects this light to that light, and we'll just start hooking all these lights up. got all 8 lights put up in the parking area. Go ahead and give her a flip. Uh-oh. I missed a wire. Oh, that's right. I missed a wire coming across. Okay. Well, it's gonna happen. Okay, now, if you guys haven't picked up on it by now, I'm a concrete guy, so I'm allowed to make little mistakes like that as long as I catch them. So take 2 for all of these lights. Forgot to turn the breaker on. Does this count as take 3? If it does, whatever, take 3. Hey! All right, we have lights. This is awesome. So I got these 6 lights hooked up in my work area here. Let's hope I did this right the first time. And we'll flip the breaker on and give it a test. Now remember, these ones aren't on a dimmer switch. Breaker on. Obviously, the parking area lights all work. And this battery's about to die. 3, 2, 1. Nice. Dimmer. Okay, so now there's a little adjustment on that blue dial that I can adjust it so like if that's not dim enough, I can dim them down more. But no, I think that looks good. Another project kind of completed. All right, guys. So the lights are all working. Switches work great, especially that 3-way switch. We checked it every which way. Everything's going good. The last thing that I need to do, again, this is going to be after drywall, is hook up the remaining outlets. Then all of the outlets are good inside. As far as the lights go, I do need to do the siding so I can do the trim outside. So like I said, we're going to leave tape over these so then that way nobody can flip them on, because as of right now, these light switches are hot. If you turn them on, it's going to provide power to the outside lights that are not yet hooked up. So don't want that to happen. Hopefully we can get that done in the next week or so. Yeah, realistically probably a month, but for the sake of motivation, let's maybe say a week. So we'll check back in here after we get this drywall mounted tomorrow and get these outlets run. All right, everybody. So that's gonna wrap up this video. Now, yeah, we got some other stuff going on. You'll see that in up and coming videos. Don't worry. But as you can see, all of my outlets are installed, including the one up there for the TV, the camera, the sweeper, the garage door opener. All of my lights obviously are working, which is fantastic. Clearly the drywall's up. But yeah, I mean, the outlet hookup went very, very smooth. It was really nice just being able to do those splices and only trying to connect one wire to the outlet. I was able to pretty much leave the wires rolled up in the box, pull out the one pigtail wire that I left off. It made hookup a lot easier. Just sometimes if you're doing it where you're hooking 2 wires to an outlet, if you get multiple wires in the box, like this center one back here, how we have a run coming across and out the other side as well as up, you're getting multiple wires in one box, and then trying to finagle all that with 2 wires going to that outlet. Sometimes they tend to be a little bit stubborn. So it's super nice to actually have some lighting in here and not just that Husky stand-up light that I bought. While it did help, it did serve its purpose, and I'll be able to use it on future projects that I need it. I was just about ready to be done working off that thing. It just got a little bit difficult, you know, working up here, then trying to jump back here and work on something and having to rearrange it. So it's just super nice. Now the lights that we put in, nice and straight. They're running They're running super flat to the ceiling too. They are flush mounts, so they're actually canless lights. There's little flaps on the sides that once you poke it up through the drywall, those flaps flip down and it just holds itself there. There's like 4 or 5 different settings. This is the 5,000 lumen setting. There's 6,000, but I just thought that was a little bit too bright for here. The dimmer switch here, I think I showed you guys this, is working really nice. And then there's also a little dial that I can adjust, you know, how much dimmage, that's a word, dimmage, how much dimming I think I can do. So I mean, I'm psyched. We're moving along here. Everything's looking good, and it is super nice to also have power just kind of everywhere. I don't have to work off of 2 outlets and splitters. So yeah, I guess we can go ahead and cross this one off the list. Now as I'm drywalling, I am pulling these outlets out and light switches out so I can get my drywall nice and finished down to the box, and that way whenever I put my receptacle plates on, I don't really have to worry about any gaps or anything. So yeah, I mean, I'm psyched. I'm not psyched for the drywall finishing, but you know, that's underway and it's trucking along. You guys will see that here in a little bit. So yeah, I think we're good to go ahead and hit you guys with a rundown of, you know, thank you for your continued support. It is just tremendous to see, you know, that I can take a little bit of time off for personal reasons. I think this time it was like 2 weeks, and then come back and still have you guys enjoying my videos, enjoying my content. I am going to try to get up to the shooting range here soon, now that we're kind of moving along nicely, and get some much needed stress relief shooting time in. I think that would be well deserved. But yeah, I know I just said it, but seriously guys, thank you for the continued support. It's incredible. So with all that being said, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Gunpowder and Freedom. If you liked what you saw, click like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out our store on Etsy. That link is in the description. And you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.